friends, welcome back to my channel. So today's exciting. Today is my first collab video with Heather and Heidi over at Beauty in the Burgh and with Sherri Ward. So it's also my first eyeshadow look on my channel. So we all decided that we were going to use this palette here from Wet n Wild. And so this is the Rose in the Air palette. It's very similar to the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, and it retails for around $5. So what we're gonna do is we're all gonna create a different look using this palette. So make sure you guys go and check out their channels to see what looks they came up with. I'm sure they would appreciate it as well as I would appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is probably gonna be a long one, so we're gonna dive right in. All right, so what I like to do usually first is always, I already have my eyes sort of set and primed, but I always like to kind of go in with a nude or a flesh toned eyeshadow. And so I love that this palette has one in it, and I'm going to take that one right there on this big shader brush, and I'm just going to sort of apply that. This doesn't have to be precise, as you guys probably know. We're just sort of packing that on just to make sure that nothing skips. It sort of helps with blending later on. It's also a little awkward because I usually have a mirror. I'm usually using an actual mirror to do this, but I didn't really want to block the frame. I do have one next to me in case, which when I get into the blending, I will probably whip out this little guy here. All right, so for my transition shade, I'm going to start with this lighter one here, and I'm going to pick that up on this brush here from Wet n Wild. This is just one of their 99-cent brushes. It's a fluffy crease brush. Today is brush cleaning day, so I do it bi-weekly on Sundays, so bear with me, you guys. All right, so I'm just dipping into that transition shade, and I am going to pull out this other little palette, and I'm just going to start placing that in my crease. And I'm just using, you know, windshield wipers and circular motions to sort of make sure that that's nice and blended. It's a little awkward for me too today because I normally always do my eyeshadow before my foundation. So we're doing things backwards for the sake of the video. I feel like a professional YouTuber. I'm not very professional, am I? But I really love the Wet n Wild crease brush, you guys. They are absolutely awesome. The blending brush for 99 cents, they're super duper soft, and they wash really, really nicely. I have like 3 or 4 of them now, and I've washed them all several times, and I've never had an issue with one of these brushes shedding. So that's really nice. And that's just pretty much it for that. Just creates a little bit of definition, nothing crazy. And then I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this shade here. And I'm gonna pick that up on something a little bit less wide. This one is a little more pinched, and this is also a Wet n Wild brush. And I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of that other transition shade in the palette, of course, tap it off, because these are pretty pigmented. These mattes are really, really nice. They blend really, really easily, and they're really impressive, to be honest. For a $5 palette, you guys, if you don't have the budget for the Modern Renaissance, I think you can get some of those very similar, like berry tone looks with this palette here. So if you've been wanting it and you just haven't been able to pick it up, I would say this is a really, really close dupe, honestly. So I'm just adding that to my crease as well, kind of in the same place as the last one. And I'm doing the same motions, just back and forth and circular motions, just making sure that that's nice and blended. And then I'm going to pick up, I think I'm going to go with, I'm going to use this orange. So I'm going to pick up this orange on this brush here. This is just a little tiny detailed brush. I'm all about color, you guys. So I was really excited that we picked this palette. So I'm just gonna take that orange and I'm gonna start kind of at the outer V, and then I'm just gonna bring that up as well into the crease, just to sort of add a pop of orange. I'm gonna try to use as many shades as I can out of the palette. I can't wait to see what the other girls do, especially Heidi, because Heidi is very neutral. She's not one to really add crazy amounts of color to her looks, and so I'm excited to see what she comes up with. Discovered that Heather is very similar to me when it comes to, she likes to play around with color and experiment, so I'm really excited. And then Sherri, I think Sherri, to be honest, kind of goes both ways. I've seen her do some color, so I'm excited. First collab, that's exciting. So I'm just bringing this orange lower into my crease. I do have hooded eyes, so I definitely have to bring my shadows up higher, or else you don't see them when my eyes are open. And I know that Heather has the same sort of situation. All right, so on this smaller brush, or this guy here, this is a Morphe M321. It's just like it's a pencil brush, but it's a fat little pencil brush. I'm gonna take the berry, this beautiful berry shade. It's really awkward for me holding up a mirror and doing my shadow. Hope you guys are seeing everything okay. And I'm gonna place that berry in the outer V. So this is gonna be beautiful. Look how beautiful that berry is, you guys. Oh my goodness, these mattes are so impressive. So I pretty much just wanna place that in my outer V. This is so awkward, you guys. The whole mirror thing. I'm gonna have to practice this. In the morning when I get ready, I'm gonna have to put my mirror to the side and start doing it in a mirror, in a little mirror, palette mirror. All right. So that side's pretty much good. I think we need a little more over here. I really want that berry to pop. And we will come in and sort of soften this all up, so no worries if it looks pretty harsh. So that's pretty much it for that. Just dropped that brush. All right, and then for my actual lid, I'll need that later. I'm looking for like a nice sort of packing brush. So what I'm gonna do now, I have found that with this palette, the shimmers are not quite as, just use my color switch. They're not quite as punchy as I like them to be. So I'm just basically gonna wet this brush really nice. This is also a Wet n Wild flat brush. And I'm gonna pick up this guy here with that damp brush, tapping off the excess, and I'm just going to begin applying that to the inner corner. You kind of have to make sure your brush is wet, number one, and you kind of have to build these shimmers up with this palette. They're a little lackluster in my opinion, but you only get 2 shimmers in this palette. So that's good. I'm not gonna go in with any false lashes today either. I'm just going to apply mascara and curl my lashes. All right. And so that's what that looks like. We're gonna do the same thing to the other side. This shade isn't too bad, but the gold, I feel like you really have to build up the gold in the palette. And you really have to make sure that your brush is wet. Like my brush is already starting to dry out, and I can tell because it just doesn't pack on the same way. So you do have to kind of build them up, which is fine. I don't really mind that too much because it can kind of keep you from going overboard as well, especially if you're a beginner. So that's pretty much it, you guys, for this one. All right, so that's where we're at. I'm gonna go ahead and take a fluffy natural haired brush, and I'm just going to run that over everything up here just to soften this all up. This really does not go with what I'm wearing today, but that's all right. But that really just helps diffuse everything. So even if you go in a little too heavy-handed in the beginning, if you have a natural brush around, it really kind of solves that. So I never get too worried because I can always come in and sort of soften everything. I don't know if you guys can see that sort of difference. But these colors really do make blue and green eyes pop really nicely. So I really like berry tones. I like warm tones in general. I'm a warm toned kind of girl. All right, so I'm gonna move into this little guy here. This has become my all-time favorite little brush for the inner corner and my brow bone. This was just in a set from Eco Tools, you guys, and I love it. So again, I'm gonna spray my brush. This is just Mario Badescu setting spray. Honestly, whatever you have will be fine. And I'm gonna dip into that gold, and I'm gonna kick off some excess. Should show you the gold. That's the gold we're gonna use. Pick up my other little palette here, and I'm just gonna pop that into my inner corner. Can you guys see that? So we're just gonna pop that in there, make it nice and punchy. And as you can see, I was a little worried because, you know, I do like to do my shadow before my, or I'm sorry, after my foundation because of fallout purposes. But as you can see, there's really no fallout with this palette. And I love that. So I just applied some of that gold to my brow bone, and I'm going to take that same little brush that we used before, and I'm just going to soften that a little bit. Honestly, you guys, I think I prefer the viewfinder better than that mirror. I just can't get the hang of it. It's awkward. It's so awkward. All right, so I'm not going to do any liner on my upper lid. I'm just going to use some on my lower. So I'm going to use this guy here from Urban Decay. This is the 24/7 Glide On in Torch, and this came out with the Naked Heat collection. It's a fiery orange. And I'm just going to apply some of that to my lower lash line. Faces we make when we do eyeliner, you guys. Scary. All right, and then I'm gonna take a smudge brush. This is also from Real Techniques, right here. And I'm gonna go into this red, this deep red, because we haven't used that one yet. So just tapping off the excess, I'm gonna go ahead and smudge that into that orange liner. And that makes it look really punchy. I also find that that keeps, or it helps keep my liner in place all day when I smudge shadow. So if you have issues with your liner sort of moving throughout the day, try setting it with, you can use a matching eyeshadow, or you could use a colored eyeshadow, whatever you want. But that's kind of my trick. And then just to that corner where we extended that seam, scratchy little Morphe brush. All right. So then for my waterline, I'm going to go in with this Marc Jacobs highliner. This is in the shade Lollipop, and it is a hot pink, a hot, hot, hot pink. This right here is going to be the spot where YouTube decides that it's going to make it my like thumbnail. It's going to be real cute. I swear it picks like the worst possible moment for my thumbnail where I'm like making the most awkward face on the planet. And then I'm going to take the Cargo Swimmable liner in Dorado Beach. It's just like a really pretty bronze. And I'm just going to pop that in the outer lower lash line for just like that little pop of gold. I love the Cargo Swimmables. They're amazing, you guys. And so basically the only two shades I did not use out of the palette is this mauve and this brown. So we pretty much used everything. So good, you guys, so good. So I'm gonna go ahead in with my lash curler and we're gonna apply some mascara. This is just a Revlon lash curler, nothing fancy. I try not to wear my false lashes on my day off, which usually my day off is Sunday. And then I'm gonna go in, where are my mascaras? I'm gonna go in with this guy here. This is a primer, a sample size from Lancome. I do not really care for this, you guys. If you're looking for a lash primer, honestly, I much prefer the Wet n Wild one, to be quite honest. There's just something about it. I'm just not crazy about this one. I don't think it is worth the money, to be honest. Like, it just doesn't do anything exceptional that like I can't get out of my normal, my Wet n Wild $3 one. Then I'm gonna go in with the Essence Lash Princess. I love Essence mascaras. They are so good. They are worth the hype. I'm gonna go ahead and give these guys a coat. I have really short, sort of sparse lashes, so I kind of have to go in with a couple coats of mascara, any mascara really. And that's really why I wear false lashes a lot. Because mine aren't really great. Alright, so there's my little mascara. And then before that dries, I'm going to go in with the Benefit Bad Gal Bang. So this I got for gratis, you guys, as well as that Lancome one. And honestly, I've worked with this enough now that I would not, in my opinion, I just wouldn't pay full price for this mascara. I think it's probably like $24 full size. I use it because I have it and I don't like to be wasteful, but honestly, I don't know if you guys can see that. I feel like it makes my lashes clump together, like and it's a really wet formula, and maybe that has something to do with it. But it just, I don't know, it just makes everything clumpy. And it's really messy. And then for the lower lash line, I'm just going to go back in with the Essence one. And just lightly skim over my lower lash line. Or my lower lashes. And that's it. That's it, you guys. That's what it looks like. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a little awkward, I'm sorry, in places. This is my first kind of like tutorial, if you will. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I would love to have you subscribe so I can see you here next time. Make sure you go check out my girls. They are wonderful people. And if you like my channel, I think that you would like their content as well. They're just real people in the world doing their YouTube thing. So I will have their channels down below. So if you're curious, go ahead and click the link. It'll bring you right over there. And if I can't figure out how to get the link, I will have their channels listed. So all you have to do is just search the name. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. This is the palette that we worked with one more time. Rosé in the Air. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.